The third shift is connecting sounds with their letter spelling. So in the first shift, we were talking about building those basic words. But once our kids have that basic code, we quickly want to introduce them that to the concept that one sound can have more than one letter spelling, and that a sound can have up to a four-letter spelling. So let's look at some examples real quick. We can have the word me, mm, e, and that e is a one-letter vowel spelling. We can have the word t, ta, e, and that e spelling is a two-letter spelling. We can have the word um, hi, ha, I. We learn that that letter or that I spelling has three letters to represent it. And then we can have the word eight, like the number eight, tough. And you can see here that that last letter has a four-letter spelling. So this gives your children one more piece of information on those little nuances on seeing that a sound can have one, two, three, or four-letter spelling. And then we want to help them. So like if I saw this, they could start reading er, and usually I get this spelling as like an ing. So instead of making that ing, you could just underline it and tell your child, say, this is I. And then they would go here, I, bright, bright. And they get each of those sounds and they recognize that I spelling. Let's look at a couple of other words. So like this word, once again, these three letters, a lot of kids want to say ing on, or they go ig, mm. So you could underline this and say they, and then they start here. Sign. Another thing that you want to do, in addition for them to recognizing that one sound can have multiple letters to represent it, multiple spellings, is to let them realize that one sound or one spelling can represent different sounds. So let's look at this one right here. So we have the word peach. If we tap it out, we have each. This is my E spelling. And then I have break. And if I tap it out, I have a. And that represents the A spelling. And then I have the word health. Ha, eh, o, health. And so when your kids notice that this spelling can represent E, A, and F, when they come to those words, they're able to flex it, which we're talking about in our next shift. We also have these words, ka, or, is, chorus, where this represents the ka. So if your child said sh or ch, you can say ka there. And so that's just showing them the flexibility of that. The sounds are connected with spellings, and then the spellings can be the same spellings or there can be different spellings. And the biggest thing that we want to do all throughout with our shifts is notice those little nuances and make connections as we go instead of thinking about the American or the English language being difficult to learn.